People really don't know what their expenses will be because they don't know how long that they're going to live.
Americans are worried they won't have enough saved for retirement now more than ever.
Retirement is going to cost, for many folks, over $1 million.
Is no sure thing in investing, but a lot of people think that annuities may come close to that.
It's going to more safe things that they know. If they know they're going to need that money to supplement their retirement, well, then you can't play that risk.
This is the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr., founder and partner of Heischman Financial Services, serving the Columbus and surrounding areas. Jon specializes in educating pre-retirees and retirees about safe money strategies and ideas. Now, it's the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Here's Jon Heischman Sr.
This is Jon Heischman. I'm your host for the Safe Money and Retirement Show. Welcome. I want to talk about a big problem that most retirees have today and have had, and that is education, financial knowledge about retirement planning. And that's why my objective is to first educate, because there's so many things, so many components that most retirees don't know about. From my perspective, and from the many years of working with all the clients that I have, particularly in the retirement category, it's my opinion that the single biggest problem and the number one cause of people not achieving their financial goals and their retirement planning is they haven't done the proper planning for their financial future. It's not their fault, because I feel the whole problem stems from the educational system that we have, that we grew up in. Even though many of you may not have been in school for a number of years, doesn't matter. Our educational system is based on teaching people subjects, many of which I feel are irrelevant. And many of you listeners have been taught Latin, for example, or trigonometry, certain versions of American history, and so forth. Now, I'm not saying this is bad. It's good. But what about financial matters or the financial basics to give the student an idea of what to look for in the future? When and where did anybody teach us how to take care of ourselves and plan for the financial future? Who taught us how to deal with the real financial issues that we face today? Now, those of you that like to read, you're going to find out ideas, educate yourself, or many times you may have learned about financial planning, saving for retirement from your parents. And that's a good thing. But my point is the majority have not. So I want to provide education, things that I think each prospective client needs to know. Whether you become a client or not, I want you to be educated. Now, I can send you books, I can send you articles for you to read, but it does not replace a one-on-one conversation. I think a one-on-one conversation, a discussion about what you know, what you don't know, what's available today is even better than attending seminars. So from an educational standpoint, call me to schedule a time where we can talk. Products will not be discussed. I don't sell anything. It's strictly a meeting to get together. We get to know each other and talk about things that are on your mind that you are not aware of and what is available today. 888-426-0177. That's the number. 888-426-0177. You know, I have spent a lot of time getting an education. And to this day, other than what I have learned on my own to become a professional in the financial field, there is no education given at any level about how to plan for your financial future. So I've learned how, because that's my profession. That's what I want to pass on to you. And it does not matter to me if you're blue collar, a business owner, corporate executive, a doctor, anything in between. Most people have not been taught how to take care of themselves financially. Most people are not taught how to plan for taxes and inflation. They're not taught about how to figure out what is needed to make their goals become a reality. They are not taught about how to deal with the reality of paying mortgages, bills, tax problems that occur, how the market fluctuates, the bond markets, cash flow, budgeting, insurance, long-term care, health care benefits, and on and on and on. It appears that nobody is teaching this anywhere in our school systems, pretty much at any level. Now, you may obtain a degree in business and finance. If not, you're on your own. So the bottom line is, you've got to plan your financial situation as carefully as possible and with as much attention and energy as you would plan your vacation. And keep in mind, it's never too late. Let's say you've been retired for 10 years. There is always improvement for your plan and definitely adjustments to be made or planned for in this ever-changing world that we live in. Speaking of vacations, I think everyone would agree that planning a vacation, while fun and entertainment is important, it's not as critical as planning for your financial future, but a lot of people just don't realize that. We go on vacation. We know where our destination is, when we're going to leave, when we're going to arrive, and then figure out what choices we're going to make based on where we're going on vacation. And if we follow our plan, our vacation will be successful, come off very smooth and enjoyable with fun. Are most people doing the same planning for themselves? They're not. It has nothing to do with how educated they are, whether they're smart or not. It all boils down to being educated about financial matters and how it applies to your retirement. What we want to do is to take stock where you are today. Are you taking a look at what goals that you have and what goals you really want? Are you developing different strategies and options that might help you get there, and then picking the ones that work best for you based on your risk tolerance? And one of the most important things, are you constantly monitoring and updating your planning process for the changing tax laws, investment markets, and government regulations? And if you are you working on this with the same energy and vigor that you do for planning a vacation? I think that most people don't plan like this. I mean, I've seen it in my practice throughout the years, and that's why most people don't achieve financial independence or a secure retirement with sources of guaranteed income. Now, in my opinion, it's really not all that complicated from a practical standpoint. The details, of course, can become very complicated, but that's what I take care of. So the primary and most important thing to understand as you move forward in retirement is you have to plan, and you have to be educated in order to plan. If you're entering retirement or you've been in retirement for years, it doesn't matter. The best time is right now to become familiar with what's available for you, and that all boils down to education. 888-426-0177. Again, 888-426-0177. Give me a call. Let's have an educational meeting. I can bring you up to date, let you know what's available today, and I can pretty much guarantee there are new strategies available today that weren't available 5 years ago, even 3 to 4 years ago. It's very important. It could very well make a difference. I'm going to take a break now. More information is on its way for the second part of the Safe Money and Retirement Show. I'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. For more information, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Or visit their website at HeischmanFS.com. More of the Safe Money and Retirement Show in a moment.
Life expectancy is at all-time highs, so that means you've got a future to plan for at any age. If you have longevity in your family tree, then you need financial education from someone with the experience and knowledge to guide you into and through your retirement years. Jon Heischman and the folks at Heischman Financial Services are committed to helping you achieve your retirement goals with a low-key and trustworthy approach. Call Heischman Financial Services today to get started on your retirement future. Call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Heischman Financial Services has your future in mind.
Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman. To contact Jon, the number to call is 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. Once again, here's Jon Heischman.
Welcome back to the Safe Money and Retirement Show. I'm your host, Jon Heischman. If you just joined me, the first part of the show before the break, I was discussing the importance of being educated and informed. as to your retirement planning. I am here to help you with your planning from an educational standpoint and being informed. I feel personal attention, one-on-one, is more beneficial than educational seminars because it's geared towards your particular situation. You can ask questions, and instead of the answers being general, it is specific to your situation. 888-426-0177. Write that number down. Let me know when you would like to have a discussion. It can be over the phone. My preference, obviously, is to get together at your home or my office. But if you're more comfortable with the phone conversation, call me at 888-426-0177. Along the lines of what I'm discussing this morning was a survey done by the Retirement Income Certified Planner Designation Program through the American College of Financial Services. They interviewed 1,244 adults, and these were in the age group of 60 to 75 with assets of at least $100,000. There were 38 questions on retirement income planning. The results I find interesting because 74% failed the 38-question retirement literacy quiz. There was roughly 5% of the respondents that scored a B or higher, 80%, and 47% had an average score of C. When they broke that down into demographics, men had a score of 20 out of 38 on an average basis, while women had an average score of 16 out of the 38 questions correct. Only 18% of women passed as opposed to 35% of men. That is a slight improvement over the last survey quiz, so that's a good thing. But as you can see, there's a long way to go. Individuals with $1 million of savings, assets for retirement, performed better. Those who work with a financial advisor have lower levels of financial literacy. Now, I find that interesting, and I'm sure you do too. So what was the reason? The results were those that do it yourself would need to gain more knowledge to make good decisions, while those who work with advisors, retirement planners, they're relying on their planners to take care of their retirement planning. So they're not as apt to seek knowledge, education in the area of retirement planning. Those that have a higher education level and are informed about financial matters were more likely to identify willingness to take investment risk, more likely to have a formal written retirement plan in place, and more likely to have a long-term care plan. Now, I say plan. This long-term care plan could be arrangements to self-insure, a long-term care policy, or one of the new hybrid contracts where long-term care is added to life insurance and or annuity contracts. Overall, the higher literacy scores and higher pass rates of this quiz was associated with high levels of retirement security confidence, which I think is important, high levels of confidence that they would manage their own investments throughout retirement. Also, those with higher literacy scores also found from the quiz it was very important that their advisor act as a fiduciary. And top priority would be that their advisor educate them on retirement risk. So I wanted to give you some of the important results of this survey simply because it goes along with what I'm discussing on the show this morning. Today, retirees want to be educated. They want to be informed, and they want to be up to date as to enhancement, changes, and improvements to retirement planning products. I mentioned hybrid long-term care plans. This is fairly new over the past years, along with the popularity of guaranteed lifetime income sources. So if you're not aware, or these new ideas, these new plans have not been brought to your attention as to how they might fit into your retirement planning, I'd like to hear from you. And we can discuss an educational meeting. 888-426-0177. Once again, 888-426-0177. I'll give you an example of an actual situation of a couple I met with. They're in their late 60s, retired. Both are taking Social Security income, and he has a pension from his employer. One of the things that I always discuss in retirement planning is income continuation to a surviving spouse. In my example, his Social Security was quite a bit more than hers, and the pension option that he elected was 100% payable to him. He did not elect the joint and survivor benefit, as so many of the pension plans refer to it. So what we had was a shortage of income to her if he passes. I worked with them to make an improvement to their plan so the income shortage from Social Security and the pension could continue to her. And the great thing about the income to her is it is a source of tax-free income. In addition, by repositioning some of her retirement assets, I was able to give her an additional income source, and this income source is guaranteed payable to her for the rest of her life. several very important changes. They weren't aware that this could be done, or it was available until we met for an educational meeting to give them ideas, to give them changes and enhancements that are available today. And I feel it's very important that everybody is updated and at least is aware of creative planning techniques that everyone can possibly take advantage of. I'm out of time, so I want to end by giving you the number to call one more time, 888-426-0177, 888-426-0177. And I also want to thank you for joining me. I hope you were educated a little bit this morning and was able to give you some ideas to think about and how these ideas might apply to your situation. Tune in next week, same time, for the Safe Money and Retirement Show.
The Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr. To get in touch with Jon, call 1-888-426-0177. That's 1-888-426-0177. For more information about Heischman Financial Services, visit their website, HeischmanFS.com. That's HeischmanFS.com. Join us again next time for the Safe Money and Retirement Show with Jon Heischman Sr.